course, this agreement which has been signed between the United States and the Taliban is a limited one. It basically provisions that for a withdrawal of American or foreign forces from Afghanistan in return for a pledge by the Taliban not to allow the Afghan soil to be used for hostile actions against the United States and its allies. It also provisions that something like 5,000 Taliban prisoners be released by the Afghan government in return for Taliban releasing about 1,000 Afghan soldiers that they have captured. But there have been many hurdles because this agreement really comes at a time when Afghanistan is sinking in a major political turmoil, and that is over the results of the elections which took place on the 28th of September last year, but now the incumbent president has been declared as the winner, but of course with less than 1 million votes in a country with a 37 million population. And his position has been challenged by his political rival, that is Mr. Abdullah, and he has promised to form his own parallel government. And the United States have been trying to mediate between them, but they have not been very successful. And American Secretary of State Pompeo visited Kabul and tried to bring the two sides together, but he was unsuccessful. And as a result, he decided to cut off, or Washington decided to cut off $1 billion of aid to Afghanistan. And of course, that leaves the country in a very dire situation, particularly in the wake of this ravaging virus, which is really sweeping the country at the moment.
Now, the US has reported that there's been an increase of Taliban attacks on Afghan security forces. Do you think those reports are accurate?
They are accurate because the Taliban say that if the Afghan government fails to release all the 5,000 prisoners, then they will be targeting the Afghan forces. But of course, because of their agreement with the United States, they will not be targeting the American or, for that matter, allied forces in the country. So as a matter of fact, since the signing of the agreement, hundreds of Afghan soldiers have been killed and injured, as well as, of course, there have been civilian casualties.
Do you think we're going to see an increase in those prisoners being released? That was an early move by the government to try and combat coronavirus because they didn't want to see people stuck in prisons becoming unwell with it. But we do know there's a number of high-profile political prisoners in the country as well.
Yes, I mean, of course, in the last few days, the Afghan government decided to release 100 of the Taliban prisoners, and in return, the Taliban has released about 20 of them. But they've got a very long way to go. The point of this peace agreement between the United States and the Taliban was to open the way for inter-Afghan negotiations, that is between the different Afghan parties and the Taliban, in order to reach a final political settlement. But that seems to have been quite stalled. In fact, the negotiations should have started on the 10th of March. And of course, now we are in the middle of April, and the real negotiations for a political settlement has not really begun between the two sides.